Goeienaand, good evening, fellow South Africans and citizens of the world. And this is just a follow-up on the first coronavirus confirmation in South Africa. What I want to do in this video is very specific. Give you advice on A, what to do if you believe you have the coronavirus, and B, how to identify the symptoms of the coronavirus. Just so that you're aware the difference between flu, colds, and coronavirus and what to expect. First of all, okay, let's look at symptoms. Symptoms of colds. Here's how you recognize a cold. A cold centers around your upper airways, nose, and sinuses. The most common signs are that you have a lot of sneezing and a sore throat. Your nose runs and your eyes can tear. Your nose may be closed as your sinuses swell. Initially, the discharge from your nose is watery and clear. Later, it gets thicker and tougher. However, you do not have a fever, or perhaps a mild fever. Another thing, you don't cough. If you cough, it typically starts only after you've been ill for at least 3 days. Symptoms of the flu. Flu typically makes you feel much sicker than a cold. You also feel flu in your body rather than around your sinuses and nose. The symptoms of the flu are rather fever and pain than the colds that characterize the cold. Flu symptoms typically look like this. You are feverish with a fever around 38 degrees Celsius. Chills are common. You are typically very tired and your body and head are sore. Your joints and muscles are sore. People with flu usually cough unless complications occur. Okay, now, these are the symptoms for COVID-19 or the coronavirus, and they are different to the two that I've just described above. According to the Chinese report presented to the World Health Organization, all the symptoms can be from mild to severe. So if you have a fever, it can be from light to high. Therefore, it is difficult to specify symptoms, but especially if you have a high fever and are extremely tired and cough from the start. The symptoms start on average 5 to 6 days after contact with someone with the virus. 9 out of 10, or 87.9% of people, clearly have a very high temperature at 38 degrees Celsius and above. The other distinguishing early symptom is a persistent dry cough. Okay, so that seems to be the defining factor, a persistent dry cough. In 2 out of every 3, or 67.7% of people, this happens. Some cough light, in others the coughing is very bad. A third of people produce mucus or sputum. It is precisely through this cough and mucus that the virus spreads from person to person, droplet spread. In worst cases, people get short of breath, 1 in 5, or about 18%. Shortness of breath is a very bad sign, as it can lead to mild to severe fatal pneumonia. There are also other symptoms that may indicate infection with COVID-19. These symptoms are strongly reminiscent of flu. Some people have a sore throat, 14%, with body and joint pains, 15%, headaches, 14%, and chills, 11%, as with the flu. Then there are 2 additional symptoms that do not occur with the flu and the cold. A small number of people feel nauseous, about 5%, and about 4% develop diarrhea. It is potentially possible to catch contact with these excretions, but no one knows for sure. What they're saying, in effect, here is that apparently the coronavirus is present in feces, so don't ever touch feces. It is also known that the virus is still secreted in the fecal matter for 4 to 5 weeks. Okay, so that's the difference between the 3 different types of flu-like symptoms. Now, if you feel that you have got COVID-19, what do you do? Well, these are the plans that they're requesting in South Africa for people who think they're infectively. Objectively, we are not capable of the same high degree of medical care and quarantine as China. In fact, few other countries will be able to do so. Although the state will be able to handle a small number of people with COVID-19 locally, a large-scale epidemic is likely to put too much pressure on the system. The general arrangement with infectious fever illnesses is that victims may only be treated in assigned state hospitals. Let's hope you don't have to do that. The state has yet to announce anything about COVID-19, but if this arrangement were to apply, you would not be admitted to private hospitals. There is also no specific medication or vaccine for COVID-19. You cannot go to your GP with your COVID-19. This is critical. If you think you've got the coronavirus, you don't go to the doctor, because you might infect everybody else in the waiting room and the doctor himself. What you do is this. Dr. Angelique Coetzee, chair of the SA Medical Association, to which all medical doctors belong, said in an interview that if you are sick and suspected as COVID-19, you should not go to your doctor. You will only be able to contact your doctor through a telephone consultation. So that's the way you communicate with the doctor. If there was an outbreak locally, the question is whether we get closer to a 17% mortality rate here as well. Nobody can or does want to make a prediction, but it is important that you know what you are doing. All right, guys, that's just a bit of information about how to identify the coronavirus and the dry cough. This persistent dry cough appears to be the greatest signal of the coronavirus, which defines it from the flu and the cold. All right, guys, please remember to subscribe to be kept informed. Please put your comments down below. Please ring this bell. And please like and share this video. And above all, stay safe.